This week, the Glover Report was published looking at the future of our national parks and areas of outstanding natural beauty. It proposed a new national landscape service to manage the country's 10 national parks, including the New Forest and the South Downs parks in our area, along with recruiting 1,000 more park rangers. And it was even suggesting that there should be a new national park. But the front runner for that is in the Chilterns. Richard Brown, who joins me now, is from a group that wants it to be in Dorset and East Devon. What's the case for our area rather than the Chilterns then?
Well, first of all, Glover actually says that there are 3 candidates: the Chilterns, the Cotswolds, and Devon and East.
But it's fair that most people are looking at the Chilterns.
No, not at all.
No?
Clearly, Dorset and East Devon, in our view, is the outstanding candidate to be the next national park. As the Glover Report recognises, it has the World Heritage Jurassic Coast. It has the greatest biodiversity of any area in the country. It has fantastic heritage, and it has the greatest types of support that I think we could imagine right across the community, and it offers indeed the greatest types of recreational opportunities through our coasts and through our inland. I
think Julian Glover, and maybe also looking at a sort of political tendency, was saying what we need is something where people from urban areas can get in more easily, and Dorset is already a lovely place. Why does it need national park protection? Might be the thought of some people.
Well, it needs protection because I'm afraid, like Julian Glover says, a lot of the rest of the country, I'm afraid, is going in the wrong direction in terms of the environment. So our environment, which is our greatest economic asset in the area, is actually being degraded. And as Julian says, we can't continue that way. So we have to find new solutions, and a national park, which is a prestige organisation, puts us on the international map. It'll bring new jobs, it'll bring new investment.
But the direction of what government's looking for with these national parks is maybe to increase the diversity of people using it and deal with some of these issues, like in the New Forest, the house prices, the lack of transport. Whereas, if you did that in the Chilterns, maybe that would be more helpful than down in Dorset.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, national parks are under a duty to proactively respond to local housing needs, and we need that in Dorset and East Devon. Our house prices are too high, and we're losing young families, and we can't attract enough new families in, and I'm sure all my fellow MPs would agree with that. So we actually need that, and a national park is under that duty to provide that. Secondly, if you actually walk around lots of Dorset, the number of Duke of Edinburgh Awards people that are coming there from the Midlands and from inner London are absolutely tremendous, because Dorset is a wonderful place to do business and a wonderful place to actually tour. And what we need is for them to attract their parents down and actually say, come on, mum, and because it's often Asian mums who kind of put these, as we know, people forward to do Duke of Edinburgh and say, come on, this is a fantastic opportunity here.
Okay.
And it's a safe area, and you can get to it easily from so many parts of the country. And of course, we have on our doorstep the greatest, the largest non-industrial conurbation in the country, the Bournemouth Christchurch Pool conurbation. Southampton is not a million miles away, by train.
So we can attract some of those people to get in there. He makes a good case, doesn't he, John?
He does. He makes a compelling case. I'm very sympathetic to it, but it won't be my decision. I think the report's. I think the report's an excellent one. It makes some very positive observations about this. Some of the things that are happening in our national parks. I mean,
will there be money for national parks? I'm sure you'll have something to say about that.
Well, I think the announcements that the Prime Minister's made this week around the prioritisation of efforts around climate change, and actually also working with countries abroad to help them deal with climate change are very welcome. But I think the report sets out some interventions that would get more people into our countryside, and it sets out some sensible ways forward in terms of aligning best practices. I think what Richard said there about getting more people to be able to access affordable housing in our national parks is a big priority. I've got a few square miles in the New Forest National Park in my constituency. That's been a challenge over recent years.
Affordable housing is a real issue. I remember with you, Alan, we went into a primary school in Southampton when we were filming once, and you asked people to put their hands up if they'd been to the New Forest. Barely a hand went up in Southampton. It's a challenge to get people in, isn't it, to the national parks?
Well, I mean, first, in order to get people in, you probably have to have a national park.
And I think it may have been before the national parks formed.
Indeed. So, I mean, the national parks movement, which is a long-standing movement which previous Labour governments a very long time ago were instrumental in getting going, has actually established around the country these fabulous areas which are both protected but developed in a sympathetic way, for the benefit of people not just in the parks, but for miles around those parks. So it seems to me it's an essential movement to carry on and expand, and I can't think of a better area to expand that movement into than Devon and Dorset area of outstanding natural beauty and the Jurassic Coast and all that goes with it.
There, well, you've got two votes there. Yeah.
Could I just add that
Yes.
actually research shows that young people increasingly want to go to the coast. They don't want to put on their khaki shorts and go up as they used to into Kinder Scout or whatever.
Yes.
So we need, and the coastline is underrepresented in national parks at the moment. So the Dorset and East Devon National Park would double the amount of coastline. So if you want to attract people into national parks, let's get a Dorset and East Devon National Park, let's attract them in, let's get minibuses and coaches and everything else and bring them down and get them build on that Duke of Edinburgh and other experiences.
OK, Richard Brown, thank you so much for coming and telling us about it, and keep up the good fight.
Thank you very much. We will.
Good.